Greetings.
Hello.
So producer Reese told me to elevate my chair, James, because I think this is the most elevation I can get to. But I don't want to do what he says. I want to show that I
Do you
still
look
have control. I have power.
that
See, like he can't.
you're literally looking up at me?
Yeah.
Please bring your chair up.
It's amazing. How low
You
does
look like
this
a
go?
child down there. Also, because your head
It's quite
is
comical.
relatively small, right? Even for your body. And my head is enormous.
It's
As
true.
my entire body's enormous, but
It's
that
true.
includes my head. So like you've got a small head, and I've got a massive head. So it makes it look even weirder.
The juxtaposition is.
Turn your mic off, Reese. Every
glorious.
time I can hear your mic. Turn it off.
He's just laughing.
I can hear all of you laughing in the production room. Please turn off your microphone.
They're having a good time over there.
Disconnect it. We're trying to work. We're trying to be professionals here. Producer Reese, please. So we have Dust2 coming up between these two sides now. If I'm not mistaken, I think that Liquid chose Train. So I think they were at home on the previous map. Somebody please confirm for me. And which means that CLG will be at home on this occasion. Just so you guys know how the home and away system works. The away team vetoes 2 maps. The home team picks from the remaining 5. That is how we roll when we roll. Sometimes we don't roll, sometimes we walk. Or something. I don't know. Anyway, Dust2. Are you expecting a second victory here, Dan?
It's very possible. It's a great map for a team like CLG, for any team to make an upset on. It's one of the best maps because it's so well studied. It's been there in every iteration of the game. Everybody's very comfortable. It's kind of everybody's home map to a degree, I would say, except SK. But now they've they've shored up their strength on that map now as well. So yeah, it's just one of those maps where pretty much anything can happen. If you've got a team that has a lot of individual skill, that's where it can really shine, because you've got all these open aim battle type situations. There's less opportunity for tactics in that sense, because because the map itself is quite simple from an architecture standpoint. So that means that it allows a team that, let's say, doesn't have maybe the amazing routines and drills and strategies and the huge wealth of tactics on display. If they don't have all those things, individual skill gets a bit more of an emphasis, and it can do a bit more than on some other maps where you can have all the individual skill you want, but sometimes if you just don't have the strategy or the tactics to kind of push it all together, then you're just out in the cold and you're not going to get anything done. This is a map where a team like CLG can do a lot of damage, I think.
So double ops. JDM and Pimp versus koosta and Cutler. Who are you taking?
Well, obviously, I can't not predict Liquid to win. They are the team that is better. They are the better team, the more proven team, the more experienced team, the team with the better pedigree. You can't ever predict them not to win this from just, a statistics standpoint, right? But it's Dust2 that we've seen a great showing there from CLG. I would be quite surprised if Liquid got shut down in that manner, but it can happen.
For me, I think EliGE is actually going to be a key man for Liquid on this map. It's a nice open map, and I expect that if he delivers, then they have a good chance of winning, because I think in the matches where Liquid have lost, I feel like often EliGE hasn't been performing at his peak for whatever reason. But when he does, they're a pretty savage side, as we have seen of late. So perhaps that will happen today. But I mean, again, because of how new a team, CLG are, and such, it's really hard to identify their ways to win, because so much is changing and in flux, if you will, on their team.
And the other problem is that on Dust2, it can often come down to the CT side and how, well, the fragility of the CT side on Dust2, because like a cobblestone, like a train, you want to have those really big buys, you want to be able to get the orbs, you want to have all the nades and everything. And sometimes you're going to maybe lose the pistol round. Maybe, you go 0-5 as a CT side, and you don't get many opportunities to get your best rounds rolling with the AWPs. And with pistols, it's much harder to actually get stuff done on the map, because you've got really wide open spaces. So if the teams play correct, it's pretty simple to do. If they play correct anti-ecos and anti-force buys, you just don't really get nearly as many chances to get back into the game. So that also, if all the stars align, there's always that in for CLG. But that said, Liquid are a team that have again, that they are the team that should win. They are the better team. They have more skill.
Are they then?
You know,
Do they?
It's North America does too. How many times have we seen ridiculous stuff on this map in North America?
Yeah.
And by ridiculous, I mean awesome, because it's always really fun, I gotta say.
I do wonder if Dust2 gets taken out of the active duty map pool.
Wow.
When Inferno presumably comes back in.
Dust2's sacred, James.
The thing is, if you go to deathmatch, not even matches, almost every deathmatch is Dust2. You go to community servers, all the popular ones are Dust2.
Yeah.
Just practice aiming, big open spaces. So if they are brave enough to take it away, which I know they are, it'll be interesting times. So we've got a two-man push from Liquid down short, and we've got a four-man push down long from CLG. But that two-man push is going straight back to the site. So we'll have a range advantage, but a severe numbers disadvantage for Team Liquid. Gap in the smoke now. So who will it favor?
Oh, at least he's not getting that key pop. Didn't he even get that much damage? Very unfortunate. JDM by Gandalf getting a nice pop there. Very important. Are these players here trapped? Are they pinned down? It looks like hazed can't really move from this position. It is a pretty nice one, though, the headshot angle. JDM needs to get this frag here, just dodging, diving, weaving. There is hazed, but the flank comes in. Speaking of, Cutler's in the back as well, but not for too long. Liquid actually managed in the end, after a very arduous beginning, they managed to take the round and actually only lose one player for their troubles as well. So Liquid, you know, I talked about the fragility of the CT side. That won't be an issue for Liquid unless they lose one of these next two rounds in which they are favored. Although the third round AKs will be dangerous, that's for sure.
CLG not off to the start they wanted. This has been a day of UMPs, and it continues here on Dust2. 4 UMPs coming out for Team Liquid, and the scout onto JDM. That man only knows scopes. Oh, off angles being held by Cutler. Hello. Pimp completely blind. It was quite good for Cutler to get that far up in the first place. And that will net a kill. If that was a P250, it will pay for itself. $300 for $300. Hazen, Ethan. Last man standing, trying to make it to the site, trying to get that bomb planted. That's the bad plant, as we like to call it. But it is a plant. It's a great plant if you're the CLG team right now. Bonus money.
It's actually ridiculous, isn't it? Because Liquid, they bought up UMPs and so on here, so they can have utility for this round. Because what if CLG force bought this round? You know, what if they have Tech 9s and armor in this round with all the nades and maybe there's an AK? You know, you never quite know. But at the same time, it's like, okay, we've got to worry about the AKs in the following round. Another reason why the UMPs are picked up there, because they do have a value carrying them forwards in against those AK-47s. But now they got another bomb plant. That means AWP for koosta. That means full utility for CLG. And they got 2 frags as well. This is a terrible situation for Liquid. They somehow need to hold in this round. It's going to be tough, though. And it's interesting to see how CLG is going to develop and try to play the advantage of the weaponry, because there's so many advantages with the AKs in these open spaces here.
JDM holding an angle towards long, where Subroza is just keeping an eye on things. CLG will start over towards the short area. JDM now is over towards the car position. Standard stuff from both sides at the moment. 2 players in B. We had the EliGE in CT spawn, but he's rotated back towards A for the time being. And he's over towards Goose now. So it seems that Liquid are reading a CLG A push. And it seems CLG not going to go for a long push at the moment, although Subroza is top mid, could go either way. We've got a 2-man push from Liquid through B tunnels as well, so CLG may end up being too slow in that regard. The smoke starts to come out. We might see a cat drop coming in. Indeed we will. Subroza goes down. No frags for either side yet, though. EliGE coming with a pop flash. That could be monstrous, but he'll get flash as well.
Yeah, really nice timing there on that flash. And you'd think that his position would be given away, but I don't know if anybody noticed or called it. And EliGE gets a free frag, and this is looking fantastic anyway. CLG unable to exert the advantages that they had with the AWP, with the AKs, and that is a big problem, because look at not only the cash that Liquid have left after the round, but they picked up 3 AKs And there's the AWP, James. That is a massive swing on the value for Liquid. Couldn't have gone better, really.
Yeah, and that's similar to what we saw on Train from CLG when it just went for a straight-up execute. Didn't really show any presence here or there. Very much from the book executions coming in, but maybe missing some of the lead-up that we're used to seeing. Liquid going for the information play. 2 players left for CLG in the middle area. Could be subjected to a crossfire, although Hiko's on his own. Pimp's got 1 HP. This is awkward for Liquid. Hiko's going to have a look. Spots 1 player. I think he fell off. I don't think he meant to jump down in that situation. EliGE's got to be careful. He's up close now. But what can CLG do? Now it's hazed alone. Bombs on the floor as well. And the mess will finally be cleared up. It's like when a dog pukes down and then eats it afterwards. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's so disgusting.
Yeah, I've seen it many times.
Many times.
Yeah.
You've been.
Well, if you've had dogs all of your life, James, you will see that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, I mean, 2 AWPs here for Liquid. I mean, this strong economy, it's a little bit scary. And this fast play from CLG straight out of middle, no respect. Instant smoke, where you don't bounce it off anything, you just launch it straight there for the cross. But Nitro into the window. Will be dropping at least 1, but that second one could have been so good. But Hiko has to deliver. Can't transfer the spray for the next player. And that's a 3 versus 3 here, with the reinforcements cut off from the bomb site just for the moment, allowing Cutler the opportunity to plant. But he's got the AWP now as well. Will he go for the peek? Subroza on the flank, can't get it done. It's all on Cutler.
He is in a lot of trouble right now. Maybe he's going to try and push through the smoke when the players come in. There's a good start, but I know where he is now. And they're all going the same direction, which is never what you're going to expect.
Yeah.
So he will go down. Now, if you're standing on those boxes above the window, you can jump peek over the top of the wall rather than looking through the hole in the wall. That is something people can look for, though. And it's not far to change your crosshair from A to B. So it still has its own inherent risks. This was a nice swipe from Cutler, but it was an insurmountable task on that occasion. EliGE going for the Molotov, the safe Molotov into the doors. If you've got a good spawn, then it can stop the T's from coming out. Expensive though, $600. But if you've got the cash, then you might as well splash.
And CLG is showing another pretty fast play, I would say, actually. And one thing that's interesting about this is that it's something I did see a lot in North America is on Dust 2 as well from many teams is not so many defaults actually, but just we are going to do this or we are going to do this without the information finding or the option creation that a default can afford a team. Let's see if it works out for them. Has this been read? I mean, the rotation is far away, but we have a very positive situation here for Liquid. Able to hold down the initial push. Pip close to the double doors on long. Gets 1, gets the information. JDM can go for the rotation. Quick flash to make life a little bit more awkward for him, but he is trained on that angle, grinding the angle, finds the elbow, and the round for the team.
Opportunities lost for CLG in that situation, and there was a time where the CTs would stand in the long doors, the first long doors on their side, with the smoke down. So if anybody tries to jump through like that, then they'll get blocked. And that would have maybe made it more likely to get a 2K there. But, you know, always have to be evolving in Counter-Strike. Can't be predictable. 6-0. Liquid getting sweet revenge on CLG for the time being. We have a messy buy from the T side. Scout, a few pistols here and there. 2 or 5 players with armor. EliGE not going to overextend. They have significant advantages at the moment, including range. Nice crossfire set up from the side. Ethan will eventually go down. Cutler getting tagged. Will he go back to the well? It seems he will.
Nice little flash there, bouncing off the wall. The timing worked out very well. And short can often be a hard position to hold as the CTs because you can't really fall back easily at all. So you're fairly committed, but Pip, he's managing to stay there just fine and even picks up the last frag for the quad kill. 7-0. CLG are losing grip of their T side very quickly, actually, and this is where, you know, you would see a lot of teams able to finally turn things around. You know, you got that third round where you have a really big buy, or well, actually usually fourth by this point, especially if you've got some bombs down with that max loss bonus. But it's going to be a good start here. koosta waits for the peek, and it was a double peek, and picks up the frag. So what can they do with this advantage? Nitro is looking to respond immediately. The aggression! That's fantastic there from Nitro. Tries to get out of there. Oh, he gets the second one. The trade is not good for CLG.
2 players remaining. What can they get done in this situation? I haven't seen that flashbang for a while, but EliGE can't get much done with it. That's an open A bomb site now. Pimp is tagged, and he's just going to keep control of long. Doesn't matter if the bomb goes down in this situation. They've got maximum loss bonus anyway. And he can just hold down long to go for the split with his team. We're moving over towards short, the remaining 2 players. Pimp very passive at the moment. And from his position, he can try and throw a flashbang. Indeed, he's got a flash selected. And there goes the flash. koosta's blind for the time being. The charge will begin. Ether though, on the site, putting in work. That leaves Nitro alone. That clock's looking really fast, and now it's about damage. Can he take everyone down with him? Even if he can't win the round, if he could kill Ethan, or at least have him dive to the bomb, that would have been a bonus. As you can see, CLG wouldn't have been able to afford an AWP had he taken Ethan down.
It's actually quite cool there, because Nitro, if he had 5 seconds more on the bomb, he could very well clutch that, but you can see he's very pressured just by the fact that he realized there's just no time. He just can't stop moving. He's got to make the running kill basically there to try to win the round, and all didn't happen out for him in the end. 2 orbs again for Liquid. 16k by the way for JDM at the start of this round, and they're going to run straight into B. This is kind of what I was talking about. It's either this or it's that. There's no messing around. Straight into that bomb site. It's going to work out really nicely, and the rotation's very far away as Liquid are playing a 2-3 setup. No one really covering middle in the middle of the round, and fast rotation. We can see Pimp on the flank, and Liquid trying to set up the coordination. Pimp could win that one-on-one. That would be big.
koosta, that was almost a complete disaster there. They have got a man advantage, however. Now they're all moving into the site. Were you going to say something?
No, I said, oh, they went for the immediate save, actually.
Yeah, I mean, this could start to... Bearing in mind, yes, it's 7-1, but it could end 8-7 if Liquid are not careful. So they can't get too carried away. That'll be a good situation if they can keep hold of all these guns. JDM's got 8,500 in the bank, so they'll have a full buy for the next round. Hiko has 6k as well. So Liquid playing for the long game, as opposed to the instant gratification. 5 rounds between these 2 sides. CLG back on the buy once again after a successful round. Can they string some more rounds together? That's the question.
Liquids, I wonder if they're going to start to throw in a little bit of aggression to see if they can throw off CLG somewhat. The thing is with CLG though, is that again, as they don't use as many defaults, at least they've shown that on Dust 2 so far, you kind of don't want to go for disruptive plays, because if you're going to run into... It's rare that you're just going to run into like a lurker and get a one-on-one or a surprise flank or something like that most of the time. I think it's easier for Liquid, especially with such a big map with rotations where they could be quite problematic if you lose a site immediately, as instanced by the last round. I think it definitely will be beneficial for Liquid to play this more passive style that we're seeing right now, where they just try to wait, try to get the info, and just respond. And right now, it's all about if Liquid can hold on to long. It's going to be a 2 versus 3 there, essentially. If they can hold on to long, they can hold this round. Pimp, the key man.
Well, delayed after 3 flashbangs, and that's not going to work out. JDM gets the frag, steals it away from Pimp. 2 men. So you see they tried to isolate with the smokes, but JDM is ready and willing. He's going to get taken down elsewhere though by koosta, but EliGE is on Goose. Will he be checked for? He's playing a bit of an off angle there. 2 kills for him and the bomb. And now Pimp around the blue. 2-man spray down. Lovely stuff So normally you expect the player on Goose to be right in the corner, but the off angle being played instead, about 45 degrees. Not the angle you're going to be training your crosshair for. Gives the edge required to put Liquid back to winning ways. And look what it's done to the money of CLG. Down to the pistols once again. The odd flashbang here and there. They're going for a fast long play. That might be a mistake because there will be almost three CTs ready and willing. Pimp trying to push forward. Not going to work out though. Trouble for Liquid.
Immediate support though, and EliGE manages to find time and cover to back off with. So the bleeding has been stemmed for the time being. And JDM is waiting for that play from short. They did see a lot of players towards A-long, but by no means would it be every single man. Bit of information spotting. He's quite committed in this position, is JDM. For those peaks, the patience yields magnificence. Just Cutler left on 21. And it is very unlikely he's going to be able to do much here. Nitro gets the pick off, and that's 9-2 Liquid. Really a very strong showing straight off out of the gate on the second map here to send the statement straight home to CLG. But CLG, they already have that map win against Liquid. That is going to be like gold dust, actually, for them, I think, in this season.
Perhaps. Perhaps. Few rounds left in the first half, and again, CLG have gone for long, but Liquid seem to have a hard read that CLG will be going for something else, pushing player in lower tunnel, and they've lost long, so big problems here. They've got EliGE holding down a short position, though. He's moving towards top mid, but koosta's rotating all the way through T-spawn, so I think EliGE is probably going to get taken by surprise unless koosta doesn't stop running. Can he get into long doors fast, though? Indeed, there goes EliGE with a Tech 9 out, so koosta, he's moving towards top mid to try and get the rotation from short. That's going to allow Ethan to get taken down. So all kinds of chess games being played between these two sides. koosta gets taken down in suicide by JDM.
It's not working out really. Pressure from all angles. They lose the lurker in middle. They lose the player on long immediately. There is almost nowhere left to turn at this point for CLG for the remainder of them. Cutler and Subroza isolated, or caught in isolation. Subroza now from a very suboptimal position has to try to work his way into the defense. How on earth he's going to do that? Oh, he finds a head of helmet just skirting along the edge there, but Nitro is the one to make the frag happen. It's going to be close, but JDM's got it. Just about.
That's pretty scary by JDM. They know he's in CT spawn, so why would you run close to the edge where you can be killed and you're going for the defuse?
Let me find the only spot where I can die immediately.
And run there. Run along that line. So we have a tactical pause coming in from CLG. 3 rounds remain in the first half. Can they get a respectable score? That's the question. Again, their money sucks despite the bomb plants. As you can see, nothing has been purchased by the side. So the question is, do they force with Galils in this situation? I mean, if not, they're looking at 11-4 best case scenario.
I like it generally, just because there's always like a fine line between, are we in a position where like you never want to take the big desperation risks, because you always want to feel like, okay, if we get that goodbye, we're all going to feel good because it's a goodbye. We won't feel like we have an inherent disadvantage into this round, and you just feel a little bit better. But sometimes it's just no choice but to say, kind of say to yourselves, if we allow Liquid to get more than 10 rounds, if we don't get back into it right now, then we will lose this against Liquid in almost every situation, because they're a better team. They're going to have just too much of an advantage. There is that school of thought where it's like, we just need to get it in right now. And it's kind of like the playing to win sort of idea, where instead of playing to lose by less of a margin, for example. So it's an interesting idea. I have to see what CLG pick. Again, there is not necessarily a correct choice, and in that is part of the beauty of Counter-Strike. There's many beautiful things about the game, but if it was solvable, purely solvable, then it wouldn't be interesting. So CLG with decisions to make here in this big timeout. Liquid, they just have to keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. This is an awkward situation for CLG. The money is awkward. And that might be an indication as to what we're going to see. I'm curious if we'll see Tech 9's over Galil's. Maybe the utility purchase will make the difference. Well, they get 2 AKs out of it as well. 2 AKs, 2 Galils, just Ethan with the Tech 9, so they're lacking in utility. But they have enough to go for some executes, you know, minus Molotovs. EliGE is in the anti-split position again. This is sprayable with AKs. You can shoot somebody straight in the head and kill them, which isn't always the case, but it is in that particular spot.
Hiko is very good at that. Seen him do it a bunch of times. Not many people do. It's strange, actually. But also, interestingly, I would very much like the decision for CLG to go B because Liquid have shown them just 3-man setups on A so many times, and that leaves me very vulnerable. It's not the case this round, but CLG could consider that a good bet. And there are some smokes in middle, and we'll go for the walkout here. Ethan's going to try to go through to deal with EliGE. EliGE completely unaware as to where the other man is going to be through that. And Ethan's just going for the A play. Very misleading stuff here. Beautiful round so far from CLG, but they're only on a 3 versus 3 here, so it's by no means done.
Again, Pimp's done his job. He's kept control of the long area, and he may feel like that's unlikely to be contested by CLG, so he'll help his teammates take control of the short position. And that's really interesting. That gives them the extra man advantage because CLG won't position themselves to be exposed towards long. Although maybe they want that. I know Pimp's down. 3 versus 1. This is not working out for Liquid. CLG went for the force buy. So far, so good. And Nitro trying to change it. Can't do it. Subroza will take him down. Desperate 3rd round on the board for CLG.
Yeah, that's really nice as well because Liquid, I think they must have realized what kind of plant it was going to be. Also, just a very good approach with the 3-man. But Subroza stepping up in the clutch moments and delivering a much needed round. If they can get 5 out of this, then it's definitely very doable, and they won't feel all too pressed against the wall just yet. But now they're going to go for a straight up B split. Look at how quick the timing is. EliGE did not expect that because the timing, and that's something you talked about earlier in the broadcast, changing your trajectory will not help at all against Hiko, seemingly. That is a shutdown. hazed has to make this work. He's got to be fast. There are players quickly on the flank, and that is so smart. So smart there from Nitro. He knows all he has to do is delay. He's just toying with hazed, and now the cavalry have arrived.
It's one of the difficult situations for a T. You don't have any advantages, and the longer you wait, the more disadvantages you have because more CTs creeping down your neck. I don't even know what happened there towards B. I just saw guys getting wrecked emerging through a smoke in a B tunnel. But EliGE, it seemed like maybe he fell off the box or had an indecision, and then he was trying to jump back on it, and just got caught in no man's land by surprise. I thought he had more time than he did, but it was all taken away. Once again, CLG with those familiar pistols. Hiko creeping around. This is the off angle, the blind spot. Molotov, they will force him out, and he will get taken down completely blind. Opportunity not just for CLG. Almost a 2-man spray down. Ethan just about manages to get past. Liquid, will they move fast? Got to be careful of a push through the door. 2 versus 4 though, no longer required for CLG. And now Liquid will be afraid of potential flanks. See if they go for Bardolph Molotov then.
You're going to mention that. But no, they will not this time. Nitro just trying to eliminate the big box player, but there is no big box player this time around. Nitro looking to try to create space for Pimp to go in. Nice entry. The spray transfer is fantastic. The idea is great, but this time it will not find a connection. Liquid, they finish 11-4. CLG find 2 much needed rounds towards the end of the first half, but is 4 going to be enough? It's still a very grim tale that has been spun here by CLG on their Dust 2 against Liquid in the early stages of the ECS Season 2 North America. And what do we have here from Liquid? We have some smoke grenades.
3 people long for the CT side. And koosta's made his way into lower tunnel behind the box. So Pimp's got to be very careful. He's trying to cut off rotation, so it seems Team Liquid are set on the A site. The bomb's committed now through the long doors. CT's retreating. They've got a range advantage. Flash is coming in, but Subroza goes down. No answer from the CT side just yet. There it is. Cutler getting the frag back. Got support from Ethan as well, eventually. And now the rotation's coming in. Pimp's made his way into B somehow, and koosta's top mid. But he's going to have to come in for the flank fast. Down goes hazed in CT spawn. It's a bit crazy. Cutler around the site. He's going to go for the fast flank. Ethan from nowhere can run distraction, but Cutler gets taken down immediately. This is crazy. Now Pimp's in mid 2 versus 2. We've got long and short covered, and there could be a fast defuse here if they realize where Pimp is. He's on short. The bomb's not planted for him, and he's got koosta to deal with. Ethan looks up to help. 10-second defuse, not ideal. 1 versus 1 now. Pimp could do this. How many bullets has he got in the chamber? Not enough. Ethan will just about win it for his side. That was absolutely bananas. There are people all over the place. Positions for both teams. But in the end, it'll be CLG with their 5th round.
The one key thing there is that Liquid, they got... I mean, there's 2 ways to play this as well. They got a lot of kills. They got the bomb down, so they always have that opportunity if they want to get some guns out here. But that 3rd round AK buy is so good on this map that is very likely to play because they have a huge buffer of rounds. So usually the ethos there is how do we get the most buy rounds possible, because that is going to make us most likely to win, especially with so many in advantage. So already, so I like this decision from Liquid. Just going for a deal, Tech 9, couple PT50s, nothing else. Get some damage in there. And that's going to really pay off because CLG are already going to be struggling to get the AWPs out when they need them. So with a couple kills here, Team Liquid have absolutely done the job.
So, gauntlet run for Liquid. Can they get the bomb down on A? Subroza trying to stop them, but he can only do so much. And Archer's the last man standing, and Ethan's aim is on point, so there's no plant for Liquid in this particular round. 2 plays lost for CLG. See what they opt to do. FAMASs will be thrown from player to player. M4's picked up. Reasonable amount of grenades as well. AK is coming out for Liquid. They've got a lot less utility. 5 rounds on the board, not the biggest lead anymore. Initial map control taken by Liquid. No funny business from CLG to start. No aggression towards short.
And this is what you would expect to see. This is a default here from Liquid. It's much more common play that you would see most teams try to make. And you get control of tunnels, you get control of short, you have someone keeping tabs on longhouse, and it allows you to go for entry fragging towards the double doors to make sure no CT's close to get information, and also you get to peek into CT spawn. And if you see a player at CT spawn, then you are less inclined to go for the B split. It's much better for the CTs in that spot to be able to defend it. And what you want is the A play, the A split, or just A rush, because the guy who's on CT spawn, that means he's not playing from Goose, which means you have a much easier situation attacking the A bomb site. So you can see Liquid are making a great play here. They just have to hit the shots, and they have a big advantage.
Many plays blind, more flashes coming in. That will allow Cutler to peek. Very nice flash from him. Down goes EliGE. Lots of information for his team. 4 rotation coming in. Still control of long as well. So just be careful. Meanwhile, the fight continues on short. Ethan with another 3K. Nothing but headshots from him. CLG continue to close the gap. You're getting worried for Liquid now?
Well, the one interesting thing there is that there is this one Molotov that NiP popularized where it lands on the crate above where Ethan is, that crate there on the site, and it spills over towards Ethan's position. So he has to go much further from the cover to take those shots. And that allows you to approach much better as the T is on the attack, because that CT, he can't get into cover, he can't keep playing headshot angles. But that behavior was not, there was nothing to deal with that behavior, and that advantage was carried through wonderfully by CLG. So now, yeah, Liquid have got to be careful that they don't throw away their advantage, because CLG, once the AWPs start coming out, who knows how this is going to turn out for Liquid.
Subroza playing the off angles. There are no flashes here for Liquid, apart from that one, and that's going to do the job. Long taken, a rifle has been taken. Pimp's on short as well with Tech 9. So you can see Cutler moving towards the short position, and Pimp's just like, oh, that's going the way! That could have been a catastrophe for the CT side. But Ethan's kind of stuck. He needs help from a teammate. Cutler's coming in, but the Deagle's looking for him. CTs have been lost, Dan. There are 2 left. What's going on?
Yeah, the damage, CLG can't really sustain this damage. This is not This is not acceptable damage to take for CLG. It's already a horrible situation, and it could get so much worse. It's getting so much worse. Oh, that's a fantastic tap there through the edge as well. Oh, hazed. What a beautiful retake there. Absolute flow state there. All 3 kills, the defuse as well. CLG, he is their guardian angel in this round at least, but still, the bomb went down and 4 players went down as well. So Liquid are in a fantastic position to compound that damage and really make CLG suffer.
Yeah, and they need to, because their lead has shriveled to 3 rounds. And the closer CLG get, bearing in mind CLG's dominant victory in the previous match, they don't want a repeat of that. That's not a good start.
That's really interesting too, because Cutler took down JDM there. You've got to imagine that Cutler and some of the players on CLG have a very good read on JDM's tendencies as an AWPer, especially on a map like this.
Absolutely.
Bearing
in mind his previous teammates as well.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean...
And he's very repetitive with the things he likes to do.
Exactly, yes. They, in fact, did give him a lot of direction initially when he joined CLG. Something that was a criticism, I think, of which AWP was it? Was it koosta or some... Who came onto the AWP? I think it may have
koosta.
been... Yeah, I think it was koosta, actually. There was similar criticism there that he needed too much direction.
Liquid looking to execute into the site. Will they go for the cat drop or just run the gauntlet? Cutler's there with the AWP, but he's been smoked off as well. And advantage is increasing for the CT side. Subroza still just cruising with 1 HP. And Liquid has no answer. And there it is, that 1 HP player has gone. Is that all the damage Liquid can do in this particular round? Hiko. Starting well. Cutler's got to be careful. He will take him down. Only 2 players lost for CLG. 2 rounds between the 2 sides. CLG's money still not in the best of spots, but rebuys can be had. One would assume this is a technical pause, tactical pause rather.
It is a Liquid.
From Liquid.
Are trying to mull over their options, because right now, and it could also be a situation for Liquid where it's kind of like, guys, you know, we are the better team. Let's just like calm down a little bit. You know, just get the information that we have, like pull it all together, and just talk it out a little bit and just calm down a little bit. I don't think that there is anything that they need to make, change-wise in particular. Of course, you know, this is one of those spots as well where you have teammates maybe that are a little bit quieter. Maybe there's some stuff that they have spotted, and this is like a really good opportunity for those kinds of players to add some input, where the caller can be like, this actually fits into something that I was kind of having this idea. You kind of tip me over the edge. Now I think this should be a good play, because in the game you do have people that are quieter. People don't often give all their opinions at once because they're in the zone. They have a job to do and they're trying to just do that job, and that's fine. That's very fine. Although that said, these days we'll probably see a lot more pausing, especially with the coach change from Valve.
Yeah, it's very disruptive.
I think it's too disruptive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just stops the flow of the match compared to how it was before. It's still early days, but I can't see how it would get better. You know, it's a fairly it is or it isn't, right? So
it's a really difficult game, and well, I think a lot of the fast-paced esports games. I mean, some people would say that Counter-Strike's not that fast-paced, but you are so razor. The focus is so laser. Like the focus is so complete that when you have to go in and out of it, it's like kind of like starting a car. It takes a lot of energy to get it going. Once you're in that zone, it's easier to keep it going. But once if you come out of it, go back into it, it's kind of fatiguing and it's frustrating as well, especially if you find a groove to be taken out of that groove and out of that mindset. Well done.
Off to a good start is JDM. Not so predictable now, am I? Can they capitalize on this though? Where will they read the weakness of the CLG defense in response to JDM going down? That's a pair of eyes which no longer exists for this round. So how can CLG compensate for that? And can Liquid get a good read on that? Can they identify where the weakness is, where the gap in the defense is?
Sometimes I really like it when the CTs just play retake on A and they control long, so that if there's a split which is onto A, which is almost always the better call, because the B defense is always going to be quite good. And sometimes the B defenders might even try to push the tunnels to get the information. So it's much more likely you'll get an attack onto A, and it's so hard to hold. So you just want to hold the long area and then allow your B mates to rotate through catwalk and split back on. But Subroza, he's pushing long. He's getting frags. He's getting info as well. And you can see the rotation comes in from CLG. So I love how they're playing this.
Yeah, that's a nice equalizer from Subroza. Spots the players over towards blue, but forced them out with the Molotov. Will he be forced out as well? Unable to hold his ground. 2 versus 4 now. EliGE on the high ground. Hayes not expecting that one. Now it's koosta alone. He's getting flanked unbeknownst to him. Pimp is behind him. Not sure Pimp realizes though. He will back off straight into the reticle. Down he goes. Liquid take another round. What does that do to the money of CLG? That causes problems. Causes quite a few problems. Only 2 people can really go for anywhere close to a full buy, so maybe some pistols. Although at this point, how many rounds can CLG afford to lose? Liquid on 12 of 16 required rounds. Despite winning the rounds, Nitro is just down to a Tech 9, so there are issues on both sides. EliGE is blind, he's in no man's land, he's going to take Subroza regardless. Not sure if he spotted Ethan towards the car position, doesn't seem so. Meanwhile, the rest of his team over towards B. And that kill on long has not pulled a... Oh, hello. Hiko with 2 fast shots. And that's going to be that, so maybe a gun will be stolen away, but Liquid look good for round 13.
It's a shame for CLG that they lost the last round as well, because I think from a macro perspective they played it very well. And it's one of those spots where you have to look at the demo actually, like from their team perspective. They should like look at the demo and see, okay, we made the right calls from like a macro perspective, how we rotated, how we responded to going down 4 versus 5 as the CTs on this map. But where did we actually lose it? Did we put ourselves in the right spots? And was it just that we just didn't hit the shots even though we had the advantages, or was something else wrong? Because sometimes there are some micro situations where it's hard to see what actually happened. But overall, they played quite well in that round, and Liquid just outshot them, which is, again, something you always have to worry about with a team like Liquid. And now Liquid are going to try to escape without losing anybody. A bit of a hunt going on there from Nitro. Oh, he gets it done with the Tech 9 too. There goes the AK that was picked up, and that's a bit of a sad shame. But CLG, they still have plenty of cash here to go in for to buy whatever they want, and they will be happy with that. But there aren't many opportunities left. This may be the last really solid one.
Pot shots being taken, but no engagement on this occasion. Oh, well, Pimp's got all of 2 HP now. Got to be careful, he might kill his teammate. What is going on? It seems like we've just lost their minds. Fast B play attempted from Liquid here, and they haven't got a single kill. JDM versus 4. Oh, hello. Oh, JDM. He's got opportunity, but the Flames will take opportunity well away. That was a crazy round. Didn't get on the right foot for Liquid, and then they came tumbling down. CLG straight back into this with double orbs.
Yeah, it's not done and dusted just yet. Still opportunities to be had. Liquid are a team where you can try to run aggression against them, and it can be quite successful as the CTs. So we'll have to see if that comes into play here. Well, we get a very fast early setup. Meets fast aggression here from Liquid, and this is a little bit worrying now for CLG, because now they're in that position again where they are 2 versus 4 potentially on one of these bomb sites, or maybe worse. So they are going to make the decision to go and take Catwalk, which is the correct thing you have to do. You got to take something back. So go deep on Catwalk, gives yourself information. The really big thing there for CLG, you can see it gives them all the info, is that they get the kill on B, and they realize that not much is going on there, so now they can rotate an extra man ahead of the response from Liquid. So CLG giving themselves an opportunity here to hold this.
There's lots of running around on long, and Cutler's position on short, he should hear it, so he should be able to position his teammates accordingly, which may be why Hayes is still over towards B in case there's a rotation. JDM on the car as the smoke disappears. EliGE, Ethan caught that position. There goes koosta as well. So it looks good for Liquid at the moment. Cutler looking to save what he has, if he can. Cutler and hazed. Last 2 men standing for the time being. And indeed, where's the money then?
Yeah, this is basically the worst case scenario. Just hitting CLG in the face,
In
win
the
a
face.
round, and then you lose a round. The classic, but this is not the timing for that. They don't have the bank for that. Liquid setting themselves up quite well for the victory on this one, and they definitely need it against CLG. It would be quite upsetting for them to lose against CLG. CLG definitely have showed improvement here, but they are absolutely the underdog for Liquid, and when you are one of the favorites for the season, you can't really afford to lose maps against the underdog. That's what makes the difference, really, in the long run, when you are vying for that #1 spot. So CLG already with a train against Liquid. A Dust 2 added to that would be very disturbing, I think. And CLG are really giving a good run here as well. And they're going to have something to work with. We've got the Force Spy coming out. We've got an AK, an AWP, a UMP. Lots of utility. This is absolutely not done just yet. Let's see how Liquid open up the round. It's another default to begin things with.
Four rounds between these two sides. CLG struggling, 2 players on pistols. But Cutler is, well, Cutler's on the AWP on this occasion. So indeed, as some of the desk mentioned, seems Cutler is AWPing here and koosta's AWPing there. Who will be able to deliver on this occasion? koosta over towards B. Got a crossfire with hazed, but it's paper thin crossfire. Both players on the 5-7s. Hiko looking over towards short, trying to find out what's going on, but they've got 4 players clumped in the choke point of B, do Team Liquid. They've not much map control. That smoke is not ideal for them. And they see that CLG have some utility, so again, Liquid don't really have many eyes. They must be a bit nervous. Hiko going for a fake towards A. But it's distinct like a footsteps. koosta pushing. The bait has been taken.
This is not very good, is it? I mean, it's exactly how Liquid planned it. Instant entry gives us an instant win to the round and puts us on game point. CLG forced to go for the save. Liquid actually don't have a huge amount of cash, so just as an insurance, I don't think they're too interested in hunting down these remaining players. They can maybe afford to invest 1 death in killing a player. But beyond that, it starts to get a little bit scary, I think, should things go awry in the following round. And Subroza takes down 1. So I think they've had enough, have Liquid now, in hunting players. Taking CLG down to just 2. But still, the AWP will be there on Cutler. So there are still potential problems. And I like how one of the problems for Liquid in this last round was the AWP. But by just hitting B really hard and fast, you basically put the AWP out of the equation, because I think B is one of the more unlikely places you're going to put the AWP if that is what you think is the make or break for the round. You want to put that in more dynamic positions, middle, A, and so on.
Second tactical pause coming in from Counter Logic Gaming. So I think the questions are, what do we have? What should we do with what we have? Are they going to go for a short push, for example? I think if you go for a short push, let's say with the AWP in tow, you have to give it to koosta, based on experience, at least with an AWP. But I mean, they don't have a lot of options available to them. Liquid have opportunity to keep up pressure in future rounds should CLG be successful. But going back to this round, they barely... I mean, Cutler can drop a FAMAS for someone. But that's about all they have going on.
Yeah, it's a terrible situation. There is no denying it. And the thing is that because, again, Liquid have been running defaults, it makes it a lot harder to actually go for early run aggression unless you really commit to it very, very hard. For example, just like a 2-man push, let's say, in the upper tunnels, is you have to find a very good timing for that. You kind of want to find the timing when Liquid are kind of just coming away from tunnels or they've left only 1 player there. And you need to have that solid pop flash, so you've got to have the tactical ability to be able to give yourself a very good advantage to take that frag, and for no cost, apart from the grenades. So it's a very fine balance, but I think those are the kinds of plays they need to make because they have to get ahead of the push before it happens. They need to get the information, the early pickoff to disrupt Liquid. Otherwise, I don't think this is really happening. If they just let Liquid just go in and just execute whatever set piece they have in mind, then there will be problems for CLG. But again, Liquid, they could very well try to just avoid the AWP or cut it out of the picture by just going for another really fast B play. I think that might be quite likely, actually, and I think that would be a really fun way for them to end this, just to go for a very fast B hit once more. To see what they decide to choose as we are back into the match. We resume. JDM not going to get a shot off there on the gap.
Right then, it's no fast play from Liquid. They will take map control as standard for the time being. JDM looking both angles through double doors. Sometimes you can find an AWP on the CT side trying to catch people coming out of low tunnel rather than trying to catch people on the catwalk towards A. So Liquid have got their initial map control. Nitro waiting outside long. No push from CLG towards B, where Pimp is currently lurking. So Liquid are poised to get any openings that CLG may offer to them. Minutes on the clock for them to act.
Yeah, so it's pretty much done with your information gathering phase at this point. Now comes the time to start getting those prods out, start to get your nades in there, start to gain some map control and work towards that bomb site. And you can see that Hiko goes for the drop play into CT spawn, a big play. There's no one there. That tells them that there's just 2 players on the bomb site alone, and this split could be very, very dangerous because there's no pushing of upper tunnels. They just have to hold. They just have to somehow hold from these positions. They get 2 kills, but oh, there's another one. hazed pulls out just one more, ekes out another slight advantage going into this one. He's made it doable now. A 2 versus 3 situation for Liquid to play off of. They don't have really any utility either to work with to cut off angles now. Just a molly and an HE. Oh, JDM, he can't miss that shot. It's all on Pimp, the new man from Denmark. Can't get it done. And CLG, they're still in this.
Not over yet for CLG. Great play by Liquid. Charged towards the site, but the angle was just in favor of their opponent. 3 plays survive for CLG as well, and they pick up 2 AWPs, or second AWP rather. So that was a nice buy from them. JDM and Pimp have enough money to drop weapons for their teammates, depending on what JDM opts to do. Does he still have cash to drop? Well, there it is. Hiko's going to buy a Galil. So they've got all the rifles on Team Liquid, and they have a few chances to take this match over the line. Will this be the occasion they do it, or will CLG stop them once again? Similar start to the round as we saw in the previous one. But I think we might have Cutler on short with the AWP, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, indeed he is. There are flashes for this position.
Oh, see ya.
Goodbye, Cutler. Subroza doing what he can. He's got 2 players to face. Nades. He needs to keep control of long as well. Got to be scared of his 6. Make sure there's no flank coming in. Nitro falls to the flames. There's a carpet of oil and fire all over the A bomb site at the moment. Man advantage for the CTs now, but A is in control of the Ts.
It's going to be a tough situation here for Liquid. I mean, JDM is very low. Plant in the smoke there. You have to defend from the site, basically. They can't fall back to short. They can't fall back to long. Nothing is safe. Nothing is safe. There's almost nowhere to go. JDM, he drops from the site, though, and just nails Ethan. That is going to be really nice now. He's created space. Important now. EliGE has a lot of room to work with himself now that he's not concerned with bumping into his teammate. Subroza tries to get his way around the angle, but that's going to be that. EliGE gets it done in the end. Clutch stuff there from Liquid to close it 16-11. But man, oh man, it was a close run there by CLG. They won map 1. They almost won. Well, they put themselves in spots where Dust 2 became winnable after an awful start.
Yeah, that was an awful start indeed. But Congratulations to Liquid. They managed to get one of the 2 matches out of the way today, and I think that's good for them because it could have been a disastrous start had they lost both. You know, and when CLG started to come back, it started to get worried, started to get a bit nervous, but they managed to take it over the line in the end. So, I mean, congratulations to CLG as well. They showed us a good performance, a very good performance on the first map, and showed us potential. And you can see there, you know, some things look a bit blunt, some of the executes, but there's improvement. There's a path that they're on, which is great. They have direction.
Nice.
Well, nice indeed. See you after the break.